Hello. In this video, I'm going to give you some ideas about how to make different kinds of animal faces using bread, crackers, or cookies. Since the summer reading theme this year is tails and tails, the animals that I will suggest are all animals with tails, but of course you could do all kinds of things if you'd like. They don't just have to be animals with tails. If you want to make some of these, you'll need to have some kind of base, cookies, crackers, or bread. And I'll talk about what you can do with bread if you want to get it into the right shape, if it's a normal loaf of bread and you'd like to actually make it round. So if you want to do that, you probably need a knife or some kind of biscuit cutter. That helps. Or if you have animal shaped cookie cutters, those would work as well. And then you'll need something to spread on it to help things stick. So spreadable cheese like cream cheese would work, a nut butter like peanut butter or almond butter if you can eat those. Frosting will work if you want to go sweet, anything like that. Greek yogurt will work as well. And then you'll need things for the different facial features. So some baking chips, snacking seeds like pumpkin seeds, different kinds of chopped produce will work as well. And I will show you some examples and give you some ideas here. So I've talked a bit about the base and the spread, and this slide just gives you some more specific examples of what you might use to make eyes and noses, mouths, tongues, whiskers, fur, and ears. I can show you some that I did and let you know how I made them. And you can, of course, play around. If you're trying to avoid sweet things, you can make them savory and not do things like frosting and chocolate chips. If you're trying to avoid nuts, you can do that as well. If there's a nut allergy or someone who just doesn't like nuts, there are all kinds of things you can do if you're creative and willing to try different things. So I'm going to show you 3 different examples with ideas, all animals with tails. The first one is a cat. And for the cat, I just basically took a piece of bread and I used my biscuit cutter, the largest one I had, to cut out a round piece of bread. And then I had the crust that I used to cut out triangular pieces for the ears. So I spread some peanut butter to make the cat a brown cat, peanut butter, and then I stuck the ears on top and spread a little more peanut butter. I used pumpkin seeds this time for eyes, since cats often have green eyes. There's a chocolate chip there for the nose. What I did for whiskers this time, because I don't have any of the licorice string, and since this was more of a sweet thing, I basically took crystallized ginger, which is kind of chewy, and I cut it into pieces, into fairly thin strips, and used those for whiskers. For the mouth, I spread a bit of Greek yogurt to make it look like teeth, and then I took some blueberry jam to make some spots to make it look like teeth. If you are doing a bigger face, when I made a bunny rabbit cake several years ago, I actually used several white jelly beans to make teeth for a mouth. So that would be an option. You could use something like that, or you could just use a piece of string licorice, or you could use a piece of spinach strip or a piece of pepper strip, something like that. If you don't want to necessarily show teeth for the cat, but just maybe make the cat look like it's smiling. Anything like that would work. If you have frosting, you can also draw on it. If you have the kinds of frosting that you pipe, the piping kind of frosting, that would work as well. You could try spreading it, but that might be a little more challenging. And then if you'd like to make it look more furry or give it some texture to the fur, you can add things like coconut, chia seeds, sprinkles, those kinds of things. If you use a white base like cream cheese or Greek yogurt, you could also still make a multicolored cat or a cat of a different color using something like almond meal or nutritional yeast. Different things with different colors. Chia seeds will give the face some texture. So that's some things you could do with the cat. Another option is a rabbit. I did the rabbit very similar to the cat. In fact, for this video for picture taking, I basically just took out the pumpkin seeds and put in a couple more chocolate chips for eyes, and then I took 2 more pieces of the bread crust and cut them like bunny rabbit ears with longer ears and stuck them up top. And so basically the bunny rabbit is otherwise the same. And so you can do similar things. Again, you could do a white face for a bunny rabbit if you'd like, or do a white base and then sprinkle something like almond meal, or even just pepper it a bit with something like chia seeds, because a lot of the rabbits we see around central PA are actually kind of not necessarily like a consistently solid brown color. They're kind of, it's kind of got a peppered texture to it. So that's a rabbit. And then the last one that I'm giving you some suggestions for is the dog. If you'd like to make a dog, you could again just use a cracker or a cookie, or you could cut out a piece of bread if you want to make a round face. In this case, I had a piece of bread toward the end of the loaf, and I just used the whole piece to make what's supposed to be a Cocker Spaniel here. And so this time I made the ears still using bread, but I cut the crust a little bit longer. I actually saved the crust from when I cut the cat and the bunny rabbit, and I still had some of that left. So I just cut that into what looks like the long floppy ears of a Cocker Spaniel. And this time I've used raisins for eyes. That's a hazelnut that I've used for the nose. And then I took a piece of cherry tomato, or you could use regular tomato and cut it into a small strip, or if you're doing savory, you could do, this is a more savory one that I've done here because I've sprinkled it also, it's got cream cheese on the base and I sprinkled it with some nutritional yeast. Or again, you could use something like almond meal if you have that. You could grind up your own peanut butter and make peanuts and make peanut butter meal. Anything like that, if you have a seed and nut grinder or a food processor or NutriBullet that does that kind of thing. But dogs have many different colors of fur, so you could do different things with that as well. If you want to make colored frosting, or you can even color your cream cheese if you'd like to without making it sweet. Those kinds of things will work as well. But if you want to go totally natural and avoid things like food coloring, this is a way that you can do it. You can also do this dog with peanut butter if you'd like. But I wanted to do one with a cream cheese base and show you how you can do some texture if you'd like. And since this is a Cocker Spaniel that has fairly consistent color to its fur, I didn't do anything peppered with like chia seeds or anything like that. But you could do that because different dogs have different kinds of texture to the color and coloring to their hair. So those are some suggestions. I just wanted to show you, this is the dog that I just made a little while ago. I can't turn it too much more or it might slide off the plate, but this is what it looks like. Fairly easy, fairly quick. You can have fun with it. Do different kinds of creative things by yourself with your kids if you'd like. It can be a family thing, or you can just have fun for yourself making something for lunch or for a snack. So I hope there have been some fun ideas here for you and you have a chance to experiment and make some different kinds of animal faces while you're participating maybe in our summer reading Tales and Tales program.